Emmy, you have to go. This is not appropriate for you. Go. Now, it's scary. So today we're going to be talking about that middle passage, that last leg of the journey, or not the most famous leg of the journey, the worst leg of the journey. So this is pretty upsetting and terrible stuff that we've got going on right here. So the people would be chained below deck. And this trip is going to take you 2 months to do, about 8 weeks. So imagine for 8 weeks, if you, for, oh goodness, maybe 23 out of 24 hours a day, were forced to just lay in your bed. Okay? Can you imagine how, I would go crazy if I was forced to just be laying down for 23 out of 24 hours for 8 weeks. Now, imagine your bed's not there and you're actually just chained to a hard wooden floor. Okay? Got worse, right? Now, imagine that you are packed like this. All of those are people. You know, today we have to worry about social distancing and everything like that. And, 6 feet apart. These people aren't even 6 inches apart. They're shoulder to shoulder, head to head. And that's your life for 23 or so hours a day for 8 weeks straight. Imagine that. This is called the tight pack ship. And this would cause 30 to 40% of the people to not make it on their trip. 30 to 40% of the people would not make it on this trip with the tight pack. Here's some cross sections where you just see it's not even like right here. You've got this imagine being in a bunk bed, but it being super low. So you the claustrophobia that you have there. Also the fact you're not unchained when you have to use the restroom. So you're side by side stuck there, and the only place you can go is right there. And guess what? You're going to know when your neighbor has to go. Can you imagine the smell? How terrible that would feel? You don't get the opportunity to go take a bath or anything like that through this. So you're in that filth for 2 months. So too many people died with the tight pack. So they went to the loose pack to give more space. Because they had 30 to 40% people not being able to make it. So think about that. The people didn't care that it was human life being ruined. They cared that they were losing profits. So they go to loose pack, which this is loose pack. It doesn't look much better, does it? But this would now mean only 1 out of 5 would not make it. So still 20% of the people would not make this journey. How horrible this is. So, under the ship, conditions were absolutely terrible. Now, how many of you have ever, on a summer day, the car has been sitting out, maybe your family hasn't gone on a trip in a little while, and it's really sunny out there, and you go and get in the car, and you know how the air feels hot and stale and just terrible? Yeah, well, imagine that times 1,000,000 while you're under the ship, because it's like that, but you're under the ship side to side. Please stop. Do it in the other room, please. Okay, Pumpkin? Thank you, darling. And while it's super duper hot like that, there's no airflow. You can't roll down the window. It's super hot, over 100 degrees. You're on the sea, so it's super humid as well. I mean, we've all gotten to enjoy those Maryland summers where feels like you're walking through soup. It can be even more humid than that because you're on the ocean, for Pete's sakes. And on top of that, you're covered in yours and your neighbor's feces and urine and vomit. That's a nightmare. That's worse than any nightmare that I've ever had. Yes, Hayden, sir.
I forget what I was gonna say. Dang it.
Sorry, bro. If you think about it, let me know. And you're chained, like I said, chained to there, so you can't even move. They typically would leave the children unchained and they could wander around, but still, it's like bad, 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 bad. Ugh. I always feel sick teaching this lesson. So, like we said, in the tight pack, it was 30 to 40% did not make it. In the loose pack, 20% did not make it. And so what would happen, oh, you remember it, Hayden?
Were they actually like underwater to the part, like on the part of the ship where it was actually underwater, or were they still a little bit above water?
You know, I don't know. I think
they
it
were
was mostly above.
Because if they were underwater and a hole leaked, then they would all drown.
Oh yeah. But like I was saying, so many people would not make it, even with the loose pack 1/5, and a lot of it was disease. First off, because think about it, we know that if you're close to someone who's sick, you will probably get sick. So if anybody had any kind of sickness, it was going to spread like wildfire through the ship. On top of the fact that you're in filth, because we know that pee-pee and poo-poo make people sick, and that's why we try to get rid of it. But you're not rid of it in that situation. You're not fed very well, because of course they didn't feed the people very well. And it's just, ugh. There was also, people were beaten, literally till the fact that to death. Sometimes if people were sick, they were just thrown overboard. People would jump overboard when they had the chance because they thought that would be better than living in that horror anymore. Now, one of the things that we have with this is schools of sharks would literally follow these ships to eat the people that go overboard. Like, sharks knew the smell of a slave ship and would follow them because they knew people were going to jump overboard. They knew people would be thrown overboard, alive or dead. So it's just, ugh. So that hopefully gave you some of the ideas of the horror of what the Middle Passage was and that people endured. We're going to watch a quick video clip from TED Ed, which is going to talk about the slave trade as well. So I'm going to switch to stop recording.